I'm a Triceratops, a plant-eating dinosaur that lived about 6 to 8 million years ago. Before I could walk or grow my horns, I lived inside this egg.
The first thing to come out was my little nose.
I didn't have big horns yet, just tiny bumps.
Standing was really hard. My legs were still new to everything.
Then she came, my mother.
This was my first morning in a world full of giant creatures and endless discoveries.
My mother was huge, and she watched over me from the very first moment. My horns were only little bumps, but one day they would grow strong. With her help, I finally found my balance. My first taste ever was a tiny fern leaf. I sneezed so hard. Everything was new to me. She always checked the area to make sure I was safe. My first drink of water was cold, and it made me giggle.
The water was cold, but it made me feel awake and alive.
I stayed right behind her. She was my whole world.
My little horns warmed in the sun. They would grow bigger one day.
There were many others like us, all eating, walking, and living together.
I learned what plants were yummy and which ones tasted weird. That leaf was really bitter. I didn't try it again. Then I met others my age. They played by tapping their frills. I wanted to try too. The grown-ups kept us safe, always. I loved pushing things. It made my neck stronger.
We learned how our bodies worked by playing every day.
I watched the adults. They were so strong and smart. I tried doing the same, and it worked for me too.
We moved like one big family.
I could feel the ground move, even if I didn't know why.
The grown-ups made a shield, and we stayed inside it. When she stayed calm, I felt calm too.
When the danger passed, we kept walking again.
I learned to look around before I explored.
I sniffed everything. Every smell meant something.
We always traveled together, big ones and small ones. I practiced running, even if I looked silly.
Stopping was the tricky part.
The wind made everything feel alive.
I practiced slowly, learning how my head worked.
The adults were so strong. Their horns looked amazing. Every sound made me listen, just in case. Sometimes it was nothing, just tiny creatures running around.
She always told me when it was time to move.
I was getting stronger every single day.
New places meant new plants to try.
This one tasted sweet, my favorite. I was learning, growing, becoming a real Triceratops.
Our journal took us to places I had never seen before.
When we looked up, we saw pteranodons soaring high through the wind.
They weren't dinosaurs, but flying reptiles.
They were amazing flyers, riding the wind far above us.
Out in the water lived giant mosasaurs, rulers of the deep.
I never went near the deep water, but I liked watching the waves move.
On land, we met gentle edmontosaurs, big plant eaters like us. They didn't have horns or frills, but they traveled in huge groups.
Then we saw ankylosaurs, covered in armor from head to tail. They looked tough, but they were peaceful plant eaters like us.
Sometimes, far away, we saw the mighty T-Rex, the top hunter of the land. When that happened, we stayed close together. Most of the time, they didn't bother us at all. In the forests, dome-headed dinosaurs watched us curiously. Far above everything, giant Quetzalcoatlus soared like flying mountains. Their shadows were so big, they covered the ground. Some dinosaurs were so tall, I had to look way, way up. The world was full of giants, each one different. I lived among flyers, swimmers, and walkers, and I was one of them. I used my nose and mouth to learn what plants were good.
Each sunrise reminded me I was no longer a little one.
I learned that helping my herd started with small things.
They began to trust me, and that made me want to be better.
I practiced not to fight, but to be ready to protect.
Caring meant watching out for those who needed me.
Love made us strong. Stronger than our horns ever could.
I began to see the herd not just as family, but as my responsibility.
I didn't choose to lead. The herd chose me.
Sometimes being brave meant making the right choice, not the loud one. Sharing strength meant slowing down when others needed it.
Danger was coming, but fear wasn't the answer. Smart choices make battles safer. When we worked together, our strength multiplied. Sometimes clever beats strong. We refuse to let fear break our formation.
Leadership is guiding, not forcing.
When the gentle stand together, even the mighty step back.
The ground shook, and we knew we had to move fast.
Protecting each other made us stronger than the fire behind us.
A dark cave ahead became our only hope.
Inside the cave, we learned that safety comes from staying together.
The sea disappeared. And that meant danger.
We climbed fast. Every second mattered.
Higher ground was our safest place. The wave was huge, but we were safe because we acted together. That day taught us that courage and teamwork can save lives.
This world was ancient, but every day felt new.
And now...
But remember, history lives in every footprint we leave behind. Be brave, be kind, and take care of your herd, whoever they are. Because the strongest creatures in history were the ones who stood together.
Goodbye, young explorers, and thank you for learning about our ancient world. Remember, history streams in every